Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It is great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Helix Sleep, the makers of premium mattresses and bedding that suit your needs. So everybody's different and there's no reason why your mattress shouldn't fit your needs. So you can do what I did and take the sleep quiz and enter your sleeping preferences. I happen to be a side sleeper. I share a bed with my husband. I prefer a firm mattress style. And the sleep quiz will take into account your preferences along with your partner's and come up with a mattress that is a compromise to both of your needs. And we matched with the Helix Sleep Dusk Luxe, which we've had now for about a year, and we're getting great sleep. I love the squishy top and my back feels supported, and it is a great improvement to our old mattress, which we inherited, and sadly it did us well, but it needed to be replaced. Give thanks to the old mattress, but we're getting great sleep with our new mattress. And our kids also have Helix Sleep mattresses and they feel very grown up in their beds and they're getting great sleep as well. One of my favorite things about a Helix Sleep mattress is that it arrives packaged in a cardboard box, which makes it really easy to maneuver. And we have a set of very narrow stairs, so bringing it upstairs was really simple and it made it much easier to move, and I was able to install it myself. Every Helix Sleep mattress comes with a 100-night sleep trial. If you're not happy with it, they will come and pick it up and give you a full refund. There is a 10-year warranty, and there are also financing options and payment plans. Your mattress will come rolled up in a cardboard box and be delivered right to your doorstep. And if you live in the United States, shipping is free. So if you're interested, click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/emmymade to see how you can get up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress and 2 free pillows. Big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. Now today, in lieu of Valentine's Day, I'm going to be making a recipe with cinnamon red hots. Now, I think most people that live stateside know what I'm talking about when I say cinnamon red hots, but internationally you may not. Now, cinnamon red hots are round, bright red candies that are infused with a ton of cinnamon flavor. You can find them year-round, but they are most popular during Valentine's Day. They sometimes come in a heart shape. The ones that I grew up eating were round and bright red, and I remember having them on iced sugar cookies, and they're just so bright and charming. I remember picking them off and then eating them, and I never really loved them, but I didn't hate them either. But they just had such a distinctive cinnamon flavor, and if you ate a bunch of them, your tongue would be stained bright red and your tongue would kind of go numb with the cinnamon fieriness. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? At any rate, I'm going to be testing out a retro recipe from 1941 for alphabet pie that uses cinnamon red hots to flavor it and to give it that beautiful pink color. And it also uses alphabet pasta. So alphabet pasta, cinnamon red hots, pink, red, Valentine's Day, right? That's what it spells, Valentine's Day. I don't know if it does, but it does to me. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have to confess, I was supposed to make this recipe last year, but I just didn't get to it. And I wasn't really leaving the house much at all. We were in lockdown, and I ordered red hots online. And I was so tickled because I discovered that cinnamon red hots, these candies, are also called cinnamon lentils. Lentils, do you see that? Cinnamon lentils. I have never heard of cinnamon red hots, cinnamon red candies ever called lentils. It's so funny to me because when I think of lentils, I think of something quite healthy and good for you and full of fiber and vegetarian soups. I don't think of red candies full of red 40 dye and white mineral oil, but here we are. I found this recipe from Mid-Century Menu. I'll put a link down below. Ruth tried this recipe, so I know that it will work. And let's go ahead and get started. This is alphabet pasta. Have you ever seen this before? My children were tickled by this. I showed them this. I had an extra box. They dumped them out on a tray and we're spelling all kinds of funny things, but that's what we're going to be using. Half a cup of our letter pasta. Good old can of sliced pears. Right now, I just need the juice. So we're going to drain that. So I had about 3/4 of a cup of pear juice. Add water till I have 2 cups. We're gonna add the water and the pear syrup to our pasta. It smells like big red gum. Another American classic. So cinnamony. Look at those lentils. Oh my gosh, there's a big one. 1 cup of Red Hot. Oh, that was a great sound. Bring this up to a boil. Stir this all together. The Red Hots, of course, will melt and we will get a syrup. And the recipe says to cook this for 40 minutes or until the pasta is tender. We'll be back to make the custard once this is done. Alrighty, see you in a little bit. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. I cooked the alphabet pasta in the Red Hot pear syrup, and this is something else. Look at the color the pasta has taken on. So I went ahead and reserved 2 tablespoons of pasta for garnish, and I also rinsed it under the tap with some cold water so that the pasta wouldn't stick. In a bowl, we're going to crack 2 eggs. My hens are not laying right now. It's winter time, and these are store-bought eggs. So 2 of them. Just beating them up. We're going to be making a custard here. We're going to sift in our cornstarch. Make sure we get rid of any lumps. This is a serious recipe. No lumpy cornstarch. And we're going to add our sugar. Bloop. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I forgot to mention I added a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to the pasta while I was cooking it. I'm going to take our reserved bright red syrup and add it to this. We need 2 cups. Mine looks pretty thick. So I had about 1.25 cups of syrup. So I'm going to add water to make it equal 2 cups. And then we're going to add that to our starch. I'm going to whisk this all together first before we turn on the heat. I have some lumpage. Look at that. That looks terrible. All right, now we're going to add 2 eggs and 1 cup of cream. Ooh, this is quite the concoction. Oh, but look at that color. It's going to be pink. We have ourselves a pink custard. Now we're going to cook this on medium heat. And we're going to stir this constantly. There's a ton of sugar in here. Not only that, there are eggs. So we don't want these eggs to scramble. Look at that. That's starting to look... I don't know what that's starting to look like, but it's getting thick. Wow. Look at that. I've already turned off the heat. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's like a paste. Wow. Look. Because I want this to cool down quickly, I'm going to transfer it to a wide bowl. And I'm just going to pour it all in. The paste. 1 pat of butter, which should melt in there nicely because this is so hot. Now we're going to add our pears that we saved from earlier. This is supposed to be chopped pears, but I couldn't find chopped pears, so I have sliced. 1/2 cup of canned pineapple juice. Whoop. Seems kind of watery, but that's what the recipe says. And our syrup cooked Red Hot alphabet pasta. In it goes. Take a look at that. I'm going to mix this all together. Take some cling film and just press it right down on the surface of the custard so it doesn't form a skin. And then let this cool for a bit in the refrigerator. While the custard is cooling, we can whip up some whipped cream. You can also just use the pre-whipped stuff in the freezer section if you like. But I really want to test out this stuff that I found at Trader Joe's. It's whipping cream that's shelf stable. I've watched a lot of Korean street food videos and baking videos, and I think this is very similar to the stuff they use because they use whipping cream that comes in these aseptic kind of shelf-stable containers, and they pour it and it just whips up to this really white, bright whipped cream. But I love the idea that it's shelf-stable because I don't usually have whipping cream in my refrigerator, so I can just have this. But I don't know what it tastes like and I don't know how well it whips up, but we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna treat this just like I would ordinary cream. This is at room temperature though. It is not refrigerated. So here it is, this stuff. Oh, it looks very thick. So I'm plugged in, my power is on. It wasn't on, so I'm glad I checked. Now I've got a little bit of sugar here. About a tablespoon of sugar. This could be powdered sugar or regular sugar, and we're just gonna beat this on high. Here we go. This should be whipped cream by now, but because this wasn't cold. So I've got some very cold water. Let's try putting the whipping cream into that. Not really. Read the directions on your box before experiment. I don't think that's made a bit of difference. So I'm going to try, I'll be right back. Back in from the cold. And I've got an alternative to this whole bit of a failure. I've got some of the spray stuff, and it's gonna work just fine. That little experiment, the whole thing with the, let's see how the Trader Joe's shelf-stable stuff works, yeah, doesn't work unless it is cold. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. This is a pre-made graham cracker shell. If you would like to make your own, you most certainly can. This crust protector off, right? And then when you're done with the pie, or you just only eaten some of the pie, you can reverse this and use this as a lid, right? Pull back the plastic. I'm gonna give this a few turns. Scoop that in. Fill it all the way to the top. Sort of an appropriate dessert for Valentine's Day, I think. Now we're gonna take our whipped cream in a can. Final garnish our little alphabet piece. Since I haven't enough, I'll just sprinkle the entire pie. Dun da da da! The alphabet pie. Alrighty, let's go ahead and give this a slice. Oof. Oh no! It didn't like me bad-mouthing it. Oh, pie. Oh. It's all good, you know? It's all good. Happy Valentine's Day. Spread the love. All right, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Isn't that beautiful? And like my shirt says, itadakimasu. Now, dare I say it? It actually tastes better than I expected. I thought the custard was going to be overpoweringly cinnamony, like red hotty burny or just over the top cinnamon, and it isn't. The custard is actually quite nice, and I think because I used cream, you could also use evaporated milk. It tastes really rich and creamy and almost vanilla, but there's no vanilla in here. It, of course, is cinnamony, but not nearly as powerful as I thought it was going to be. The texture is pleasant. It's very smooth, puddingy, kind of custard texture. Which goes really well with the graham cracker crust, which is crumbly and cookie-like at the bottom. The pasta gives a little bit of texture to the pie, too. It's got a little bit of al dente bite to it. And the cinnamon flavor is permeated throughout the pie, but is not overpowering. And then you've got little bits of pear in there. Which gives a little bit of texture contrast too. More of a succulent bite, so a little different texture. Fruity, not overpowering, goes well with the cinnamon. I think apple probably work really well too. Let's try some with the whipped cream. The whipped cream goes really well too, because again, there's cream in the custard itself. Whipped cream and graham crackers, an excellent combination. Wow, I thought this was going to be terrible. I've tried so many retro recipes at this point. Lots of Jell-O molds, lots of molded things, lots of desserts that contain canned fruit. And this is actually pretty good. Wow. And I mean that in a relative sense. I'm not even a pie person, but for what I put in this, all the canned fruit, the pasta, the 1 cup of cinnamon candy, it's actually pretty good. Shockingly. I mean, good. I mean, I shouldn't say shockingly good because that's a bit hyperbolic. I would say surprisingly good. And I think it would be perfect to bring for a Valentine's Day party because it's so pink and you've got the red alphabet pasta on top. It's just so strange. It's just a very strange recipe. And it doesn't taste half bad either. And especially if you're a fan of Red Hots or cinnamon, if that makes you happy. So many people also chimed in when I mentioned Red Hots as being called red lentils, said that their grandmother or mother loved putting a few Red Hots in their applesauce, which I think is brilliant. It makes it a little bit pink, adds a little cinnamon flavor, a little bit of sugar. Thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video. Click the link down below or head over to helixsleep.com/emmymade to see how you can receive up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress and 2 free pillows. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Oh dear, what am I gonna do with this now? I really don't know what to do.